would like to, before we jump into number 7, Christian Dunda, if you would like to introduce yourself, I believe you are here as member of the public. I didn't want to let that slip. So unmute and just kind of introduce yourself.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Christian Dunda, and I'm just looking forward to learning a little bit about what CHNEP is doing with the partnerships, working with local so we can improve our water quality and improve our environment. I'm really enjoying the conversation this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian, and welcome. Okay, so up next, Jennifer is going to discuss the completed conservation grants. And,
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So the purpose of this is obviously as Nicole had mentioned in earlier slides, that the CHNEP conservation grants, they seek support for programs, events, presentations, again, the schools, the individuals, and other not-for-profits, to relate key messages and public outreach to watershed needs, restoration needs of our estuaries. And this connects to the CCMP through public engagement action, not only to promote environmental literacy, awareness, stewardship, but also education, public engagement opportunities for those grant applications. So, Jennifer, you're welcome to discuss.
Yes, we thought it would be helpful for you all. I mean, these are some that have come before you as applications in prior meetings, but to see the results, to kind of close the loop and show you what ended up happening with some of these projects. So I'm going to go through them somewhat quickly, but feel free to jump in and ask any questions as we go along. The first one has to do with including Charlotte Harbor in something called the Go Hydrology Journal. There is a gentleman who is the hydrologist for Big Cypress, and he has created a hydrology website that is very user-friendly and covers south of our area. We were contacted by him. He had an interest to expand it to cover our area as well, to develop a series of user-friendly and easy-to-read charts and diagrams, along with narrative explanations and other innovative multimedia creative content that would help illuminate and celebrate the region's unique hydrology and water cycle. So it gives you live information. I mean, really helps people understand what's going on with water. So he had asked for $3,000 of funding. The total cost was $6,000. And just to let you know, he is completing the project. The final report is due in November, and it is actually going to be completed early. Given our host change, he's able to accommodate giving it to us at the end of September, the end of our fiscal year. We're going to verify that the logo was added, that we got all the pertinent infographics and other content that was described in the application. And then we can provide links to these added website tools and pages, and everyone can take a look at them and see. I know they're going to be really excellent in helping to communicate more about our water. He has an excellent way of taking data and animating it and creating nice visuals that help explain it in a very intuitive way. So we're looking forward to that. The next grant is the 2022 Great American Cleanup, Clean Your Block. This project was in addition to the regular Great American Cleanup, where volunteers were given equipment to help go back into their neighborhoods as well and really do community cleanups. So they had requested $1,875 for funding at this project, mostly supplies. The total cost of the project was $4,925. We did receive the final report. Volunteers were provided those supplies, as we mentioned, and over 70,000 pounds of debris was removed that they documented through this massive cleanup effort. So very exciting to see those types of results. We also funded What You See on Land, Lands in the Sea, a children's art exhibit. This was part of the Friends of Lover Key Eco Art Camp, And basically, we funded scholarships for 24 underserved children to be able to attend this. It was not just about art. It was really taking the kids out, teaching them about nature, connecting them to nature through art, through education. And they also had experiential activities where they actually got to go out and do water quality sampling directly. And it was just a really phenomenal experience for a lot of these children who haven't had these types of experiences before. We provided $3,000 of funding for those 24 students. The total cost of the project was $18,404. We did receive a final report and got lots of great pictures like the one above of the children engaging in activities to learn about land use, coastal habitats, waterways, and other environmental topics. We also funded the Myakka River Management Coordinating Council website. We continue to provide some nominal financial support to this. It is an educational resource about the watershed, the Myakka River watershed in the CHNEP service area. It was $220 of funding out of a total project cost of $720. The final report has been received. We also funded a project for the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation called A Bird's Eye View of Caloosahatchee Conditions, a weekly collection of aerial photos of the effects of Lake Okeechobee regulatory releases. This is a project to produce long-term photographic archive of conditions in the Caloosahatchee estuary, corresponding to water quality data and making recommendations to policymakers. The SCCF is instrumental in putting together Caloosahatchee conditions reports along with other state and federal agencies. And those are submitted to help the Army Corps of Engineers and the South Florida Water Management District make water management decisions with regards to like discharges from Lake Okeechobee into the Caloosahatchee, how they manage and operate the system. And so you can see in the lower right-hand corner, one of the images from the aerial photos that we have funded to be collected and provided in those reports. And truly a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can see right there, the plume of dark water coming from the discharges out into the estuary. And that is very helpful in influencing policymakers to better manage this resource. So they requested $1,353. This has been completed. They have provided these not only on their website, which you can see the link there above, but also on the CHNEP Water Atlas Lake O page, there are links to these images. We also funded a project called Environmental Conservancy of Northport Habitat Restoration Project, the Scrubby Flatwoods Lot Restoration Project. So this was restoring 11,741 square feet of a vacant lot, an active Florida scrub jay neighborhood in Northport. They asked for $665. They completed the project where volunteers planted over 30 native species, including sand pines and myrtle oaks, which help bear acorns for scrub jays. They also planted other native plants such as muley grass, common tick seed, and gopher apple. So just really improving the habitat value for this endangered species. We also helped to fund the Charlotte Harbor Environmental Center digital audio guided hikes. So you can see here in the lower right-hand corner, an example of a trail marker with a QR code. These audio guided hikes with QR codes can be accessed by the user's personal mobile device. They were placed along 6 miles of hiking trails at the Charlotte Harbor Environmental Center. And users can, hear audio interpretation of what they're seeing at different points of interest along the trail. So it's a new way to engage people using technology. They can also access, photos and other information online through those QR codes. They requested $3,000. The project's been completed. We did get the final report and documentation, and it's been paid out. We also funded some videos. You can see here examples of these. They're quick, informative videos about the CHNEP itself and the kind of work that we do. We were contacted by an environmental education and media specialist and who wanted to undertake doing this. They completed the project. They requested 3,000. These videos are now available on the CHNEP YouTube channel. And with that, happy to answer any questions you have, but I think this hopefully inspires all of us to see all the great work that can be accomplished through these conservation grants.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's great to have that sort of wrap up to see how the CHNEP was able to help fund these projects and have them come to fruition. So with that, is there any discussion regarding these projects? If so, you may unmute and talk about them. I, for one, am very this SCCF, Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation. I do participate in the Army Corps of Engineer sort of West Coast stakeholders call to kind of give them status reports on estuary conditions, and SCCF is also a partner of that. So it's great having that, because the image didn't show, but if you go on that link at the top of the aerial photo, it'll show like the 7-day moving average of what's been released. So you kind of get an indication of what is coming upstream, what's coming from upstream, and how it relates to the image that they're showing. So like the image that was in this presentation was, the dark water's coming. So you would gather that, like, okay, well, the releases are high, so that's why the water's so tannic, and then say the opposite end of the spectrum where the releases are low, you'll see it's kind of like near Caribbean color, blue and greens. So it's great to have that tool where you what do they say? A picture tells 1,000 words, right? So that's a great project to fund.
Yeah, and for those of you who are particularly interested in the Caloosahatchee-Lako system, I just want to again mention that we have a really amazing new Caloosahatchee-Lako tracker page on the Water Atlas, which constantly is updating, simultaneously looking at lake levels and flow rates to the Caloosahatchee and whether they're within the ecological targeted bands for health of those two respective systems. So you can just instantaneously look at, the most recent data and say, is the lake and the river within the recover targets? For those of you familiar, there's this, group of scientists who have established the ecological envelope, if you will, for the maximum and minimum of lake levels and flow rates to the Caloosahatchee. And so anyhow, that tool is available on the CHNEP Water Atlas, and I encourage those of you, if you haven't checked it out, to look at it. It's a great tool.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that is a great tool. So I don't want to dominate the conversation. Is there any other discussion for these grants? If not, we can move on.
Oops. And Harry, I just wanted to point out too, when we do have conservation grant applicants that we think would be appropriate for our presentation to you all, we'll certainly make sure to invite them back and have them present the results to you guys as well.